Hi, everyone. I'm John Carter, and every day we flush incredibly valuable data about our health down the toilet. And so imagine what would happen if we could capture some of that data. Imagine if we could actually know what's going on inside of our bodies in real time, right from the comfort of our own home. Imagine if you could track things like your cortisol levels, so you could actually see if your stress is reaching unhealthy levels, like probably many of us have right now. Imagine, I know I probably do right at this very second. Imagine if you could track your vitamin and mineral levels, so you could know where you're off and you could get yourself to kind of feeling your best and thinking your best and doing your best. Imagine if you can track hydration. What if we could track after tonight's drinking how that affects our body in terms of hydration tomorrow morning? No. All of this is possible, and we're here to tell you about the product that we're working on called Bloom that does exactly this. And so the way it works is it's basically a pretty simple system. It's a device that sits on your toilet at home. You've got a little fingerprint scanner up here, so you walk in, so it knows it's you, it activates it. You just use the restroom as normal. It collects a sample. This is like a little mini lab, and then it tells you all of this amazing stuff going on inside your body, and I'll show you exactly what we can test. And more importantly, we take that data and we don't just show it to you, but we then give you all the kind of things you can do to get your body to its optimal self. And so that's kind of the concept in a nutshell. If you bring it back up 50,000 foot, the technology evolution that's happening is very similar to sort of what happens with computers. I mean, they started in these big giant rooms. Now we have these amazing computers in our pocket. The exact same thing is happening with labs. Right now, LabCorp and Quest, sort of the duopoly in the lab testing market, they're big, inefficient machines. They have these wide open labs with people running around doing things that machines could very easily do. And so very soon, whether you buy it from us or someone else, you're going to have a lab inside your house. And that's a really exciting change because we're going to be able to track our health in real time and get our bodies to sort of their optimal self. So why don't we do this today? Why don't we track this stuff? And basically, it's kind of a pain. If you wanted to do this, you could track yourself. You have to go to the doctor. You have to draw blood. Usually they use blood for a lot of this stuff. That hurts. Some people are freaked out by needles. The cost of tests, the same kind of test that we're going to do, which is about 15 or 20 different tests, would cost somewhere between $300 and $1,000 to go and get this done from your doctor. And then you have to wait 3 to 10 days. On this side, you have the way that we're going to be bringing it to market. So first off, it's a simple device that attaches to your toilet, so you don't have to use needles or draw blood. You really just use the bathroom. It's a smart machine. It collects it automatically. It's going to cost less than $10 for these tests, probably about $5, meaning that you're talking about a huge reduction in the cost. And this becomes something that you can do daily or weekly or whenever you want to. And it's 5 to 10 minutes, and you get this result right on your smartphone. So it's basically broken down into three things. We have a sensor, we have a smartphone app, and then we have recommendations and custom supplements. So this right here is a view of the device and some of the multiple things that you can test in our early versions. And so you've got vitamin levels like Bs, magnesium, all the sort of core minerals. Some of the cool ones in here, like I mentioned, cortisol to track your stress levels, hydration. I think that's something we could all check more regularly because if you have, if you're at the right levels of hydration, it affects so many things in your body. And we can even do some of these on-demand testing like pregnancy, urinary glucose, UTIs, even drugs of abuse. For those of you who have teenage kids and you want to know if they're on drugs or just acting like they're on drugs and you can't tell the difference, now you'll finally know. And we're working on some really cool new concepts. This is new. For Kip hasn't seen this one yet. I spent about 8 hours behind mirrored glass last week just looking, seeing people's reactions to the device that sits on your toilet. And a lot of people wanted a portable one, something they could travel with, something they could just leave on their counter, not necessarily attached to the toilet. So we built this little bad boy as well. And you can see this is kind of another example of sort of the product. But also, I think you can tell here, like, we're super committed to beautiful design and a beautiful customer experience. The product teams we're working on are the same guys that built Beats headphones and built Square Reader, some of these amazing products we love. So that's going to be a big part of how we do it. All right, let's talk about the app. So the app has a couple of functions here. Over here on the left, this shows you all your various levels, and you can track it daily, weekly, monthly, whatever's convenient for you. This one kind of shows what it would look like on weekly. Then right here you go, let's say you're low on magnesium. The second page will actually educate you on what magnesium is. Like, what does it do to your body? Does it matter? What kind of things does it impact? And then it'll also tell you ways to improve your magnesium levels. So we'll recommend foods that you can eat, and we'll also be able to give you a custom supplement. So how many people in here take supplements, any kind of vitamins? Raise your hand. Okay, yeah, that was about 75%. They say about 76% of people do, but you don't know if you're taking the right stuff, if you're wasting money, taking all the stuff you don't need. We're gonna give you a custom supplement designed exactly for what your body needs, so you don't waste any money on stuff you don't need. And then it gets over here into the really cool stuff. So this is a real true story. Our chief scientist, picture like a really salty 50, 60-year-old scientist, doesn't believe in any hype, doesn't take supplements. It's like, oh no, I'm healthy, I'm fine. Well, he started testing this daily with him and his wife in sort of a lab setting and realized his vitamin C levels were super low. He did some research, that's not good, causes a lot of long-term problems. So his wife was in perfect levels. She eats breakfast every morning with some fruit. He's a workaholic, he drinks coffee. And so sure enough, he starts joining his wife for breakfast every morning, and in about 2 weeks, his vitamin C levels were perfect. Same thing with magnesium as well. And he said he felt a whole lot better. In fact, just to prove it, we made him stop eating breakfast, and to see what happened, 2 or 3 days later, he went back to his old levels. He dropped off pretty fast and said he felt really bad. He actually got sick. And so then we let him eat breakfast again and sort of changed his behavior. So these are some recommendations that we can make, around, you can buy custom supplements from us or from, reputable brands that you know and love. We'll also partner for groceries, and you can get sort of the foods you need delivered, and even, go all the way to the meal stuff. These are sort of concepts of different ways we can promote it. This is the business model. So obviously we make money from the sale of the device, the sale of additional tests. That's what I love about this device. It's kind of like Fitbit, but you've got like a razor blade model on it, right? You sell the device and you've got this reoccurring revenue stream because you're constantly replacing the consumables. And then of course we've got these custom supplements, recommendations. We'll sell direct to consumers, stores, etc. This is some of the interesting unit economics. Focus right here on this number. $611 per year is the reoccurring revenue stream, and that has 70 to 80% margins. These tests are actually really cheap. They're like pennies each. And so, there's nice margins in there. And then on this one, focus up there on the top. This is basically like what would happen if we sold less than 10% of what Fitbit sells today. So that's 1.5 million units a year. We would do $1 billion in revenue. Normally I wouldn't show such aggressive numbers on an investment slide, but I just think that's really interesting that we don't have to be that big to generate a lot of revenue, and that would just keep compounding on itself because it's reoccurring revenue. The team, so Matt and I are co-founders. He's the engineer, scientist, ton of experience there. I'm sort of the consumer-focused guy, and I work on the business itself. 20 years as an entrepreneur. I've got some fun stories to share with you guys, but I had an exit when I was 27, thought I was gonna retire, got super bored in like 3 days. And realize I'm like diseased. I'm never going to stop building companies until I'm 70 or 80 or whatever. And now I just get to work on stuff I really love. I'm really passionate about, and this product right here is definitely it. We've got a really great team, a lot of CEOs and entrepreneurs here that I respect. Advisory team, kind of blew through them really fast, sorry. But a lot of, they're like doctors and nutritionists, and they're really great in their field, and they kind of get really excited about this stuff. There's not really competition. This is the guys over here on this side are the ones that kind of have a duopoly on the testing field, so we'll be really disruptive to them. But over here, you're seeing tremendous success from like Ubiome, just raised like 87 million, and I love that. And Everlywell is doing really good too. This at-home testing market is exploding right now, and Ubiome, I think they raised something like $85 million, so they're probably valued at hundreds of millions. I love what they're doing, but there's a lot of friction there. You have to literally poop into a little cup, and then you have to mail it in, and then you get results. And that just shows you how many people are loving this sort of quantified self and learning about their bodies. And our product is very similar. We use urine. It's a little bit easier to collect. You don't have to mail it in. It all happens right in the comfort of your own house. So what's our ask today? So we just finished our breadboard prototype. So that means it's all working. It's functioning in about 30 days, which, by the way, was a huge accomplishment for us because this was kind of one of those, is this actually going to work? Like function, and it does. In 30 days, I'll have a prototype that works like prototype that I can actually like carry into your house or into your office, put it on your toilet, you can actually use it, and you can actually see your results in real time. So that's when we're gonna raise our official seed. Right now, we're wrapping up our pre-seed, which is a convertible note. It's 700 grand, we've raised 500,000. So we have a couple 100,000 left. So love to meet you guys. Come see me, ask me the tough questions. Let's have some drinks and invest so that shortly thereafter we can see how dehydrated we are in the comfort of our home the next morning. Thank you, guys.